at this question. Peter designed a logo as shown. What is the total area of the shaded logo? Can you see that this, they are identical semicircles? So if they're identical, I'm going to label them as AAA. Easier for me to find their area later on. Then, let's look at the other part. So can you see this semicircle right here? Diameter is a 14. And I hope you are able to tell also, this one is actually pretty much is the same shape, right? Can you see it's the same shape? Yeah, same shape, right? Okay, so I'm going to break it down into this semicircle and this semicircle and this semicircle, which they are the same. I'm going to label it as B, B, B. And then last but not least, this curved part, and this curved part, and this curved part, okay, I will label it as C, C, C. And I'm going to find A, B, C, all these add together, that will be my total area, okay? I'll break it down like that. So A, right, is a semicircle, so half. Look at this, the pi is 22 out of 7, so you times 22 out of 7. Times what, everybody? Your A, the diameter is 7. Tell me what do I times to find the area? To find the area, always use the radius. Very good, 3.5, right? Or you can also take 7 divided by 2 also can. You will get 19.25. Alright, let's look at B, okay? Half times 22 out of 7. Because it's a semicircle, that's why I put the half there. Zoom inside. If your diameter is a 14, so times what, everybody? Times 7 times 7. 77. Okay, your C is not a regular shape, right? Your C, right, is a weird shape like this. But then, right, if you really take a look closely, it actually comes from your, like this. Yes, quadrant minus away a semicircle. Very good. So to get the C, quadrant first, 1/4 times pi times, if this is your quadrant, your radius is a 14 right here. So times 14 times 14, you'll find the quadrant already. But don't forget, you need to minus the semicircle. Agree with me, if the radius is 14 here, the radius will also be 14 here for this quadrant. So which also means this semicircle diameter is 14. And if this semicircle, the radius is 14, is basically the same as this semicircle whose radius is also 14. It's basically this same semicircle is your B actually. So right, actually you can just minus away your B, which is a 77. And if you key into your calculator correctly, you will get 154 minus 77 equals to 77. That's your C. If you want the total area of your shaded parts, right, is 3A plus 3B plus 3C. So what you just basically need to do is you take 3 multiplied by your A is 19.25 plus 3 multiplied your B is 77 plus 3 multiplied by your C, which is 77 also. So I will get 519.75 cm squared. Alright, now part B. Finding the perimeter of the logo. Okay, same thing. I'm going to break it down to A, B, C, so it's easier for you guys. Let's look at A first. Now, A, I will look at circumference, which is the curved part first. Okay, circumference, there's a specific meaning one. Circumference is slightly different from perimeter. Perimeter, right, it will include the curved and the straight parts if there are any. But circumference is only the curved part. So circumference of the A, right, is basically half times, okay, your pi times your diameter. Your diameter is a 7. So right here, you will get an 11 for circumference of A. Let's do the same thing to find circumference of B. Half multiplied by pi multiplied by, look at your B here, your diameter is a 14. So you multiply by a 14 and you will get a 22. I'm finding one of this, okay, one of this, which later I need to times 3, okay, because I got 3 of it later on. And then next, right, I need to find my C, which is this one. And this one is just basically a quadrant. Remember, I told you it comes from a quadrant like this. So you just need to find circumference of a quadrant, which is your C. So I'm going to write down, okay, circumference of C is a quadrant, so with 1/4 multiply by 22 out of 7. Multiply, okay, this is the part that many students always get wrong. Okay, everybody look at this quadrant. If your radius is 14, remember that is your radius, that's not your diameter. Could you let me know what is the diameter of this quadrant? When I say diameter of this quadrant means you must imagine it's the whole circle at that time, right? What is that diameter? Yes, it's 14 times 2. 28, huh? Very good. So you times 28, right? Then you have 22. So how do I find perimeter? First, let's count how many A I have. 1, 2, 3. So I will take my A, which is 11, multiply by 3. Next, how many B do I have? 1, 2, 3 also. So I will take 22, multiply by 3. How many C do I have? 1, 2, 3. So my C is 22 times 3 also. But I'm not done. Now I only calculated all the curve part. Okay, but in fact I still got more curve part I haven't found. Isn't it there's another curve part I haven't found? Not here. And just now I told you this is the same as your B, right? So how many of that do we need? We need 1, 2, and 3. So we need 3 more B's again. So if your B is a 22, right? 22 times 3 again, that will find the purple part. So I highlight all the parts that I kind of found already, but there are still some parts I haven't calculated in my perimeter, which is here, here, and here. Okay, your 7, 7, 7. This is a 7, right? So it's a 7 times 3. So you should get 252. Okay, your answer is 252 cm. If you don't understand what I'm doing, I can color code for you. My A here is 11 times 3. B here is, my B is 22, right? So 22 times 3. Then my C here is 22, 3 of them, 22 times 3. And then this curve part, which is the same as my B, right? Since my B is 22, so also 22 times 3. And last but not least, my 7, 7, 7, which come from here. Okay?